John Righeimer.
Here.
Stacy Hessel.
Here.
Tom Duffy.
Here.
Steve Carrion.
Here.
Randy Newman.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of
the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Certification of compliance with open meeting laws, please.
Notice to the media and the public as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Thank you. Number 6, the meeting agenda is set. Number 7, public comments. We have Linda Zelmer.
Good morning, Linda Silver, resident of the Village of Birchwood, and I wanted to speak this morning on behalf of a number of things that Extension is doing, and I would like to see possibly more participation by county staff and county board members going forward. A week or two ago, there was a great webinar on solar installations, and as the county is going to be considering solar ordinance, the background information is provided, and that was very helpful. Another thing that Extension started, and this was last week, was a 7-week session called Planning Ahead. And you can go to the Extension website and see both kind of the outline of what that covers, which is planning for end of life, as well as you can get the workbook. And with our aging population, or even the sandwich generation that's also looking for caring for adults, I think that's very valuable. One of the things that's really going to hurt our area in Northwest Wisconsin has been kind of the divestiture of agricultural agents. Right now you have one agent covering 4 counties, I believe, and it's more like on diversified crops or produce. And we've really lost any kind of animal agriculture support. For about 20 years now, I've been volunteering for the Northwest Wisconsin Grazers Network that puts on 2 conferences a year. In March, we held our spring conference with over 100 attendees, which included a lot of instructors from the extension or the university that we had to bring in from out of the area. And it's also a way to promote businesses that support agriculture. So we probably had over 20 vendors there working. This morning, the University Channel, which is also runs a lot of extension programming, ran a 2016 session that the Grazers held in LCO that featured leading edge vets. So the 2 vets from there were instructing our area farmers or livestock raisers on how to calve, which is right now we're in calving season. So without having extension support for both our crops and our livestock farmers in the area, I don't know how they will continue to stay on top of things or help make those connections that help them keep up with the latest developments, as well as those opportunities to meet with the local businesses who support them. So going forward, I hope this committee spends a session, a future agenda item, on looking at restoring some of the extension services that this area needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 8, consider approval for minutes of the previous meeting. Motion by Randy Newman.
Second.
Second by Stacy Hessel. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And it's approved. Number 9, Weiss Library.
Good morning.
Right.
Happy spring again. I don't know what
It's 3rd winter.
Yeah. Let's see. As you can see, very busy schedule at the library. We have the annual report. I just did some highlights. If you like, I can provide the complete annual report. Oh, showing that first. Okay. Which way should I go with that, or do you want me to just?
You go whichever way you
Okay.
wanna go.
So if you take a look at our annual report, our physical items went down a bit, but our total e-materials did go increase. So you can see the total physical and e-materials checked out was higher than last year. The big thing that you do notice is that our number of programs that we have and our attendance went up. A lot of people are coming to the library, not necessarily to check out physical items, but they are coming for the programs. Last year, we were a little over 4,600. This year is 62, a little over 6,200. And same with the children's programs, that continues to go strong. We had 98 last year, in 24. In 25, we had 107 with a increase again in attendance from 2,600 to 3,800. Also, our library visits went up. So that's all good. If you take a look at our circulation activity, it pretty much remains strong. That we've got the Hayward Township is our biggest amount of patrons, about 20%, then Bass Lake, then Lenbrook, then the city of Hayward. If you take a look, I handed out these numbers a little bit better. I realize if you take a look at this year's circulation numbers and past years, they're a little bit down on statistics in January and February, but we did have quite a few snow days, unfortunately. Our circ numbers are about right, and patron counts are going up. We're now at 5,500. So things are going good that way. In terms of the budget, wanted to thank you guys again for the additional money and the monies that we get. We met budget, but we did have to pull 40,000 from the library savings to meet that budget. And we probably should have pulled out $46,000. The city carried us for a little bit. So we continue to do repairs and maintenance at the library. Right now for this year, it's slated for the bridge and pier to be maintained. We did get a donor for a majority of it. I did ask for a few grants for the remainder. And then we are looking for bids still for the men's restrooms. I have not received a bid of one bid of 4. That's about it. So we do continue to have fundraisers. We are selling library merchandise. We made a few $100s with that, which is good. We'll continue to do that starting again in June. The big run right now is the 2 trails, 2 hikers, 1 fundraiser. And Matt Ostrander actually started yesterday. What we're asking there is for donations and or pledges through November for their walking. And it is going to Friends of the Library platform, Give Butter. Tried to look for a platform for us, a little bit difficult with us being a 501c3, not being a 501c3. So we're going through the Friends and they will be giving us the money there, and most of it will be put toward the maintenance of the trails. I don't have any line item or money set aside for that. And monies will also put into be repaired for the library itself. The other thing, meeting room usage, we do get a lot of usage of the meeting rooms. We have a lot of people not necessarily looking for computers or Wi-Fi. As you see, a lot of it is they need the privacy to have their meetings, to have tests, etc. So there is a high usage. So I put in a grant application for 3 study pods for the library. Should be hearing from them shortly on that. See, we were closed for inventory to inventory almost 40,000 items. So that took 3 days. That was this month. We continue to broaden our scope of programs. As you can see from, we do for seniors, we do for teens, we do for tweens. We have Justice Point, have their bingo there, and that is well attended. They get 25 to 30 people. So things are continuing to look up. Any questions?
You've got Mondays, each Monday you have a little exercise program. What's that?
Yeah, so it is all, it's we partnered with Ventures. They were looking for a place to do some of their exercise, to get them out of the building. And it's simply, public's welcome to come. It is just a YouTube channel with some chair exercises. And everybody is welcome to come at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, sorry, 11 to noon. So we try to broaden that way. And we have classic movie nights, all different things. ADRC, our staff has been trained for dementia. And our place is dementia friendly. We had some training in February, I believe, or January, time goes by. Hard to believe the third month. We also had our, I don't know if you want me to say anything, Mark, on the committee meeting. We had that this month.
Mike?
Mike? Do you want me to record anything on the committee?
Sure.
So last week, no, the week before, the 26th, we met our yearly meeting between the library directors, Catherine, the county representative, county board representatives on the board, and Mike was there to fulfill our need and to talk on what's going on. I'll just talk about my portion. We were talking about adding 2 county appointed or approved board members to my board. So it would expand to 11. According to chapter 43, since the county does provide 50% of our budget, above that, we could have 5 people. That is we were talking, that is a bit hard to wrangle 14 people on any board. So we were talking about adding 2 to our board. They would be county appointed. Not necessarily, they do not have to be county board supervisors. So if whether the county sends someone my way or if I have someone, I would send it for approval to Mike. If I find someone outside of the city of Hayward within this county of Sawyer County.
So the city still has one and then you have 2 from the county?
Yeah. And in general, the city does approve my other appointments. I do have one school representative that the superintendent appoints, but then I do filter it through the city just as a general, because the municipality issue of us being a city of Hayward municipality. And that would start in May at my May board meeting.
So they have control over your board, just not your funding. Sorry, I'll just be quiet.
Yeah, I
They have a
mean,
say, but they don't contribute. I just-
well, in a way, they have one say directly, and matter of fact, that is Shannon Duffy Hofer. Her husband's on the county board. My board meeting isn't it's at 4:30 on a Tuesday. And a lot of the board members on the city can't make that time. So we have one, it's Shannon. So any questions?
So, thank you.
All right.
Oh, right
I'd
here.
just like to say I appreciate the efforts your folks and the board are going through to find new funding sources. You've even got a donation box in your meeting room, which is.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it all helps, so.
Yep. Oh, and the other one I forgot is we are having Celebrate Your Library. Hopefully we see you guys. That's June 13th. It's the 2nd annual. Last year we cleared about $4,000 at it. So looking for donations. We're gonna have a rummage sale. We're gonna have a fun run. 5K for adults, half a mile for kids. It's on our loop in the back. And we're gonna have baskets to bid on silent auction, carnival games for kids and families, and yard games. And I'm gonna have a DJ there, a family-friendly DJ too. And then I have someone cooking out brats and hot dogs. So hopefully see some of you guys there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Library.
Okay, most of what I'm speaking on today is, has already been submitted with the reports, but for our first quarter, I'll start with the first quarter activities report. And that is just talking a little bit about our 2026 budget projections. We've been trying to be proactive with our budget, and we were taking a look at creating an investment policy in accordance with the state statutes. And we had money sitting, so when the county or municipalities give funds to the library, it sits in a non-bearing interest checking account. So we switched that over. We found a bank that does a money market account, where we can write checks back and forth, put deposits in. It's a very fluid account, which we can earn interest on. So that will help create some extra funds for the library, and just be better use of the funds that sit there for a while before we, spend them all by the end of the year. And then we did have a building fund that was sitting in a different money market account. We moved that over to a CD because we haven't had to make any withdrawals and earn more interest with that CD. Currently, as I look at our budget from last year and previous years, we're on target where we need to be to operate fiscally this year and covering our expenditures compared to the previous years. Our Friends of the Library had just met. We have our programs for fundraising scheduled for the year, and they're listed at the bottom. Of course, we have our book sales. We have raffles. Our biggest moneymaker, I think, is our July Jubilee 2-mile color run and 10K race. We get sponsorships from local businesses to help offset the cost of that so that the registration fees are the profit in that. We work with the Chamber of Commerce in trying to get some activity and sell glow items down at the 4th of July celebration. We have some other pop-up raffles planned. Canoe races at Ojibwa Park. We have our duck race down the Chippewa River Labor Day weekend, which is a very popular activity that we do with little ducks going down the river. And then during homespun holidays at the school, where they have a large vendor fair for our Thanksgiving season, we do try to do fundraising there. We're continuing in my report. I have all of the different activities you hear me talk about all year long. Some new ones that we've added were Fiber Arts mini series for youth. We have a retired K-12 teacher who comes in and shares her passion of weaving and learning looming arts with local youth. The ukulele lessons are continuing. Something new that we added was a digital navigator. This is provided by the Northwest Wisconsin Workforce Investment Board. It's a grant that they have that they provide somebody to come into the libraries, and I know Hayward has it as well, to help patrons or community members. They don't have to be library card members or library card holders to access our activities at the libraries, but to help them with technology. So using technology, getting onto social media, whatever the question may be. A lot of times it's how to use their cell phones and devices. I shared in the report also our annual report. And to summarize the annual report with circulation statistics and all the data that's in the report, onto a report stats here. For a small library like ours, we are open 41 hours a day from Labor Day to Memorial Day. So that's our winter time. And then Memorial Day to Labor Day, it's in the summertime, we add an additional hour. Our library has 3 part-time staff, 2 staff members, and then myself as a part-time library director. Our circulation had decreased from the previous year to this year. Our digital items and physical items that circulated in our library decreased just a little bit. But our library programs, we saw an increase in library programs. I know last year I talked about how we were trying to combine programming because it was a lot on part-time staff to provide, but community members tend to come to us and say, hey, I have this passion. I want to do a program at the library. And they come in and facilitate the program. We host it, do the advertising, and assist them in whatever way we can, but they're wanting to share their passions, and it keeps people interested in getting out and socializing at the library. So we saw our library programs provided increase, but the attendance also increased at those as well. And our library holders, our card holders increased as well. So we may be small. I always tell you, it's a 1,200 square foot building and that includes the utility room and 2 bathrooms. So we are wall-to-wall books. We're creative with our space. We do have some capital improvement things that we're foreseeing coming up this year, but we've been budgeting for that. The other thing I wanted to touch on was, I know I talk about our basement project that we had, and we have a lien on the building. This year, and all of the payments that are made to reimburse, even though we're not required to, but we don't want that lien on our building. We borrowed, or what were given, $25,830.20 in 2022. All the fundraisers that we do, we put money, portion of those funds back to pay this off. So this does not come out of our operational expenses or the monies that are given by the county or the municipalities. But we have made $14,499.20 in payments. Our balance as of today is $11,331. So we had projected that it would take us 10 years to clear that amount. My goal is 2. It depends on how well our fundraisers go, because we also don't want to take away from the library and struggle if we don't have to pay those back, but we'd like to make 2 payments of those. So we're excited about that and getting that cleared off. And then the fundraisers that we do can go back into our programming and our operational budget. Good job. So do you have any questions? I invite you to come see us. We're small but mighty. Thank you.
That's your tagline.
It is. Thank you.
Hayward Lakes visitors, I'm sorry, LCO.
Good morning, my name is Carol Pat, I've been the library director at LCO since '92. And I was invited just to come and introduce my library. I've never been to this before. So I'm gonna read basically what I wrote, okay? This report is being written to introduce the LCO Library to the Sawyer County Board. The library was established as a public library in '92. It is located in the university campus at LCO. It serves as both academic, public, and partly in archives for the tribe. It is a member of Northern Waters and open to everyone. The resources are shared among the network of Wisconsin libraries. The university serves as a primary funding source. That is where our major budget comes from, along with resident circulations are obtained through Wisconsin Statute 4312. The current facility was dedicated in June of 2007. It's a beautiful 9,300 square foot facility, which features culturally appropriate colors, designs, stylized wigwam, fireplace, community artwork. Collection consists of 34,000 books. It's a substantial collection of large prints, books, DVDs, audiobooks, microfilms, photographs, and community newspapers. Historical LCO newspapers have been digitized by library staff and are available on the library website. It has an extensive native collection and is well-stocked children's room. The visitors are welcome to use the 2 meeting rooms. An additional source of funding is to the Institute of Museum and Library Services, Native American Library Service grants. Currently, the library has the basic grant for $10,000, which is providing funding for collection development and summer reading program for the children in grades 1 through 5. The 2-year enhancement grant, $144,000, has just begun. It's being used for community programming, staffing, development of a digitization center for library visitors, and the promotion of Ojibwe resources. Area schools have been offered a list of and select books for their library collections. These books are purchased for this project. Questions? And you're all welcome. We're open to everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hayward Lakes Visitors and Convention Bureau report.
Good morning, everyone. First, I wanted to say thanks to Tom for all your years of service on the county board and for on this committee. We'll miss seeing you every month, but thank you. Hopefully you'll enjoy your time off on Tuesday and these days. So I wanted to just give a quick recap of the conference that I went to in March. So it was the Wisconsin Governor's Conference on Tourism, held every year. This year it was in Milwaukee. It's an annual conference that brings together a variety of tourism professionals from across the state. It's probably the biggest conference that we have that brings the majority of tourism entities all together. There was a snowstorm right before, so it was a little bit less attended than it has been in years past. But it actually was probably the best content that we've ever had at a conference. It started out with a great keynote speech by a former Google executive, Jenny Wood. She wrote a book about transformational leadership. Her book is called Wild Courage. Basically, the premise of the book and her speech was basically talking about how fear of rejection, fear of other people talking about us, fear of discomfort, fear of failure actually really prevents us from moving in and asking for things that we want. So her perspective was really eye-opening and very interesting. Then there were a lot of sessions dedicated to destination marketing organization roundtables, where we would all get together in a room, discuss topics. The two that I attended were diversifying your tourism economy and then leveraging your outdoor recreational assets. So some great little nuggets from both of those roundtables. Then we had a presentation from Longwoods International, along with Arrivalist. They're two tourism data driven companies. So a lot of what they were talking about were upcoming trends in tourism and how to adjust marketing to that. Basically, one of the big things is capturing. Chicago is still the #1 driver of tourism to the state of Wisconsin. Of course, our area sees some Chicago people, but we do also get a ton from the Twin Cities. But how to capture the share of voice within that Chicago market was a big topic, and how to diversify your spend there because advertising in that market is quite expensive. Also budget-friendly travel, which I think is probably going to be something that comes up this summer if gas prices stay the way they are. That was a big topic as well, because we do get a lot of people that road trip here. So how can people adjust to have a better budget when they come on vacation? Also how to market to the aging baby boomer population, and both messaging and offerings within our destination. So the other big focus was AI and how that is going to basically change the landscape of things, from travel planning and even how we look at measures of success in our marketing. It was quite fascinating. There is so much information and it is changing literally on a daily basis. But for example, I just reported to you on SEO and how that is a measure of success in our website. So now with AI, we need to start looking at what they call GEO, which is generative engine optimization, which is actually the process of optimizing your website so that it feeds information correctly into these AI platforms like ChatGPT. So thankfully, we are on the front end of that. The company that we work with on our website has been on the forward edge of things. So we're working hard. And if you start using some of these ChatGPT platforms or other AI platforms and you type in questions about Hayward, very often our website is cited. So that's a good thing. There were some great practical examples about how to get started with this, mainly centered around consumer behavior, making sure that we're really studying who our visitor is and how they travel plan, because that changes, and especially with us being a family-friendly destination, looking at younger families and how they're starting, those generations are starting to do their travel planning, maybe a little bit different than ordering a vacation guide and starting there. So we have to stay on the front edge of that. Certainly it's a bit daunting because the technology is moving fast, but the people who in the destinations that position themselves are going to be ahead of the game. So hopefully we can stay on the front end of that. On a side note, the conference had a record number of award nominees this year, so the competition was super stiff. Neither Cheryl, Treeland, nor I came back with a win, but it was great to be recognized, and the winners of those categories were certainly well deserved. So
It wasn't violence, was it?
it was not violent.
All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you need any help with governor's opener still?
You know what, we are, we're looking pretty good. Actually, the Northern Waters Charter School is going to provide a fair number of volunteers for us. The DNR has reached out to the Trouts Unlimited chapter for some help for Family Fishing Day, so I think we're gonna be pretty well set. So
Okay, good.
yeah, things are looking good, and I will give you a recap of that next month. So it will be all said and done.
And where is that gonna be again?
It is the 1st and 2nd of May.
No, but what resort?
The fishing portion will be taking place on Nelson Lake.
Oh,
And then our Family Fishing Day event will be taking place at Lake Hayward Beach. So,
gotcha.
yeah.
The governor, where will he?
The governor will be fishing on Nelson Lake. So, yeah. And he'll be at our banquet on Friday night as well. So. Any other
Well, it
questions?
sounds like an exciting conference, but you need to come up with like Hayward Hearts.
Yeah. There you go.
Good.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Is there a Northwest Regional Planning report or just the written report? Move on. Bear County LCO Economic Development Corporation report. Stacy.
Mr. Lamore had sent me his report and I sent it to Laura for the minutes, but he reports the Thrive grant application. Our application has been processed and we expect the business incubator funds to be approved by April 10th. Grant is for $25,000 and will help fund the feasibility study and plan for the incubator, as well as funding the Uniquely Wisconsin video. Legislator passes key WIDA priorities in their final floor session of 25-26 legislation. The state Senate passed WIDA's remaining legislative priorities, all of which were approved by the Assembly earlier in the session. All 4 bills will focus on boosting housing development and increasing access to affordable childcare. Will now be sent to Governor Evers for what we hope will be his signature in the final approval. He listed State Senate 480, which is residential tax incremental district bill. The legislation will create a new residential tax incremental district, TID, in Wisconsin. Senate Bill 194, workforce housing revolving loan fund repair bill. The legislation makes critical improvements to 3 workforce housing involving loan fund RLF programs. State Senate Bill 375, historic preservation tax credit modernization bill. The legislation enhances Wisconsin Historic Preservation Tax Credit, HTC program. Senate Bill 376, employer provided child care tax credit. This legislation creates a new non-refundable state tax credit for businesses that provide or support child care for their employees, matching an existing federal incentive. The Forest Revitalization Bill update, amazing news for Sawyer County and the future of logging. The EDC will work with partners to plan for new influx of workers and the great changes coming. That bill was actually signed by the governor on Thursday, so everything's moving forward correctly. Sponsorship work, this work is ongoing and we are currently still working with community businesses and organizations to maintain a strong EDC. And that was a report provided by Mr. Lamore, the executive director of the EDC.
Mike, or I don't know if Stacy knows, on the forestry revitalization, so it was a big hurdle being approved at the state. But they still haven't selected, right? Minnesota and Michigan is still competing for this. This puts us ahead, or what's the next step to close that?
I think that puts it here.
Oh, it does.
Stacy, do you?
That's correct, with
Okay.
the governor signing it. So then now the next step is finding funding partners, getting the permits.
So
So
we think the Minnesota, Michigan thing, they're gonna back away. There's not a threat of them coming in at the last moment or,
I don't see how it could, but
yeah. Okay,
that's, I don't have a fact-based opinion for
so
you,
it's
but
closed, but for all intents and purposes, it's closed.
yes. And it'll be quite lengthy process. So I know people would like it to be fast, but as we all know, nothing happens fast in government. So
That's great. Thank you. Motorized trail report, Randy.
This is from the Alliance. So for March, motorized sports have been very low key. Trails are closed as of March 7th at noon due to the warm up of the weather, no snow, trail conditions. Closures, the trails are for safety and preserving the trails. We're stopping for an earlier than normal, hoping for an earlier than normal opening this spring, all dependent on Mother Nature, which she's going back to winter right now, the way it looks. We did have some numbers from our trail counters. We had 4 of them out that were working with this winter. So at the junction of 3 and 9 coming off a Round Lake off the flowage and Grindstone Cooter Ray kind of from the reservation from the west. The monthly reports in January, the counter was at 28, 68, 93 and on an average day. And then for February, the count was at 1947. February was basically only had 2.5 weeks of good snowmobiling for the ADT of about 115 sleds a day based on 17 days. I said, please note that 85% of the snowmobile business is done Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we feel that average would be much higher for those days. We also had a trail counter on 77 north of Hayward Power Sports and Sealy Hills. Those numbers are slightly higher. Our trail counters are located on the Tuscobia Trail down by winter average about 147 and 124 respectively for the months of January and February. We continue to use the counters on different trails throughout the county. Some notes from state level AWSC reports came out showing individual memberships and business membership counts. Sawyer County ranks 5th with 961 individual memberships. Vilas, of course, was first at 3934. Oneida was second, 1724. Iron was third at 1059. And fourth was Lang Lude at 1061. Bordering County's Bayfield had 583, Price 841, Rusk 263, and Washburn at 181. Sawyer County ranks 3rd with 144 business memberships, which we're extremely proud of the support that we are given from both sports, both locally and statewide. Vilas, of course, was number 1 again at 195. Iron was second with 159. Bordering counties, Bayfield had 80, Price 114, Rusk was 26, and Washburn was 5. AWSC was not successful in getting legislation through to increase the snowmobile registration and trail pass fees. This was due to a lack of Senate support in the southern counties. It will be pursued again on the next go around. This additional funding would be greatly support rehab projects that currently cannot get funded. Bridges are a huge expense, and we're at the point where many of our bridges need to be replaced throughout the state for trails to continue to be open and safe. We will be having our annual banquet coming up April 14th, hosted by the Northwest Relic Riders at the Steakhouse Lodge. During the banquet, we recognize many of our volunteers for their endless time and talents that they all provide volunteer organization. Lots of great people keep going on our trails, be the best in Wisconsin. That is it.
Thank you.
On all the trails holding through the Wednesday.
To snowmobiling, yes. But they do not sign an agreement with the Alliance, which allows the county and state or our county forestry put in for funding for rehabs. They've tried, but they cannot get that paperwork signed. So the trails go unrepaired. So they're getting in pretty rough shape, but they keep doing the best they can. So trying to work with the tribe and keep it going. So
Tom, non-motorized.
Yeah.
So let's see, registration for the the 2027 Brookline race starts, opens May 1st for those who want an early bird entry. The Brookline runs the Lumberjack event, and this year they've announced that Charlie Berens, who is a popular comedian, will be back again this year on the Wednesday following the competition. He's usually has a sellout crowd there down at the Brookie Bowl. The junior nationals were held on the second week of March this year. These are the best kids from around the country. And the University of Wisconsin did an economic impact study on that event and found that it contributed $1.5 million to the area. Next year, the Brookie's going to sponsor the senior nationals. There are 500 skiers for the juniors, and there'll be more for the seniors next year. The next event on the trail is the Epic Bike Race, which is in June. The long race starts in Hayward and finishes in Cable. The short race starts at Double O and finishes in Cable. And the latest from Telemark is they've decided to invest in a snow storing procedure where they store early snow. And the pattern of the snow has been, we have early snow, then we have a melt, and we have early snow, then we have a melt. By the time the weather is cold, the snow is gone. So we, along with Sweden, which has the largest race in the world, have invested in this device, which will store this early snow. So when the colder weather comes, like in mid-November, they'll be able to add the snow that we had in lost prior years. This is important to the ski racing groups that go out west in the mountains to ski, because we don't have snow here. So now it's almost guaranteed we'll have snow here in November, and also for the Turkey Brookie, and we'll bring some of these ski teams back to the Hayward Cable area. So that's kind of the latest on Brookie.
Excellent. Bringing them back home. All right. Thank you. Any board appointed committee updates? Any correspondence reports from conferences and meetings? Any future agenda items? Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.